It's 5 o'clock in the morning on the first day of the Greatest Stuff Shuffle. I would complain that it's cold, but I'm moving to Maine in January, so that would be hypocritical or short-sighted or pointless, any of the above. We are driving to Salt Lake City today from Medford, Oregon. We got approximately 739 miles in 11 hours and 39 minutes if we take Google at its word. We're gonna go Highway 140, which is super awesome. If you ever get a chance to drive it, you should. That's provided you need to get from Medford to Winnemucca, Nevada. But it's a cool road. So come along for the ride and enjoy. And a shout out to my in-laws, Jim and Margie, for letting us stay at their house and leave at 5 a.m. So let's do this. We're coming up on what could only be described as the Stairway to Heaven. It's a road that quite literally cuts up the side of that plateau, and it's one straight pull. And the last time we did this, it was in a Dodge with a 35-foot fifth wheel. And this time we're in a very loaded Jetta Sport Wagon. Very loaded.
There's a winding road ahead of me. I can't figure out where it goes, but if I try, I can make it home. And if I stand by what I know is real, not wander off on some byway, I should be fine. I'll be home to stay.
So here we are, Salt Lake City, Utah. We are 12 and a half hours on the road, 981 miles for the trip so far. And if Google was correct, we drove about 740 today. So we'll get up and do it again tomorrow. So peace out, peace out, YouTube, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. It's 5:20 Mountain Time, which means it's 4:20 West Coast time, and we're hitting the road. We're gonna go hopefully from Salt Lake City to Lincoln, Nebraska. It's gonna be one of the longest days I think we have. We're looking at like maybe a 12-13 hour drive. So God willing, the weather will hold, and woohoo, off we go.
And if I stand by what I know is real and not wander off on some byway, I should be fine. I'll be home to stay.
It's 7:30 Central Time. We just got into Lincoln, Nebraska. 883 miles today. It was a long day. I was so excited because Nebraska has a runza. So we're going to go through the drive-thru and we're going to get some runza. So anyone that's from Nebraska-ish areas will know that runza is a mostly Nebraska delicacy. It's a German-style like ground meat sandwich. We discovered this when we came through in the fall of 19, and it was so good. I'd like one cheese runza sandwich. Can I get an original runza with mushrooms? I can't really eat cheese. If that makes sense. Just the mushrooms, but no cheese.
Just the runza, just the mushrooms, no cheese.
Yes, please. I'd like an order of frings and a chili.
Alrighty, they got it.
Thank you. Have a good night. Okay, so we got our runza. We're gonna go over to the Walmart parking lot and we're gonna eat our runza because it's a 9-minute drive back to the hotel. And we haven't had any lunch since 11:30 the last time zone, so we're gonna go eat in the parking lot like vagabonds. The vagabonds that we are fast becoming. Okay. Can you smell those frings? I can smell them.
Onion rings.
They're onion rings and fries mixed.
Oh.
So it's like one day they got them mixed up in the little fry hopper and someone's like, hey, we could sell these. And they did. They're frings. Frings. Oh. I've waited over a year for this. So good. Well, YouTube, that's it for Day 2 of the greatest stuff shuffle ever. So we actually slept in a little bit. It's 6:33. We're running about an hour behind. But today's a short day because we only have about 11 hours to drive. So, killed the studio lighting. There we go. We have 11 hours. We traveled 1,889.6 miles. And we can get deep into Iowa before we need fuel. So, there you go. Day 3, the greatest stuff shuffle ever. Here we go.
Reaching out to find a place where I can feel a little space.
Okay, YouTube, so we made it to Toledo, Ohio. We drove 768 miles in 11 hours and 33 minutes. That's about 120 miles short of what we did yesterday. Today was still a long day in its own right. We had some weather. The only day so far that we've had weather that made it difficult to drive. What's funny, the Jetta Sport Wagon is loaded, so it's sort of squatting in the rear. And because of that, the headlights point up. And so it's kind of like the high beams are on. In fact, thus far, every night we've been driving, we've been flashed by truckers with their lights. They flashed their headlights at us to turn our high beams off, but our high beams are not on. What's on are the headlights. They're just boop, pointing up because of the weight in the rear. So that made it especially difficult to see tonight because it was kind of like driving in snow with your high beams on. You just don't do that because it doesn't work well. It didn't work too well. So really, it was only like the last hour and a half today was bad. Like once it got dark, it was kind of difficult to drive. And it wasn't even snow. It was like this frozen crystally fog. We're driving. It looks like we're going warp speed in the Millennium Falcon. We don't even have windshield wipers on half the time because it's not enough moisture precipitation to make the window wet. So it's kind of weird, but whatever. We have one more long haul tomorrow. Then the day after that, we'll be on home to down east Maine. Looking forward to tomorrow. We get to cruise along Lake Erie most of the way. We'll cut through just that skinny part of Pennsylvania, and then we get to drive through upstate New York, which I've never done. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then we'll swing over to New England, hit I think Massachusetts maybe, and that'll be as far as we go. So a lot of tomorrow we'll be driving in New York. So it should be fun. Morning of the 4th day, I think. For Salt Lake. Yeah, 4th day, 768 miles, 13 and a half hours. And the parking lot is a sheet of ice from yesterday's weather. And we don't have studded tires. So let's see if we can do this to the show. Hey look, the unofficial sponsor of this road trip. Hampton Inn, the sponsor that you pay. We are halfway across the little 40-mile stretch of Pennsylvania. And it's snowing. Lake effect snow. This is what we hear about out west, but never get to experience this lake effect snow.
Reaching out to find a place where I can feel a little space. Memories of tomorrow are getting old. There's no way to retrieve what I've sold.
Hey YouTube, so it's the end of the 4th day. It's actually Martin Luther King Day. We drove from Toledo, Ohio to Haversville, Massachusetts. I said that with so much confidence. We got stuck in some gnarly snow outside of Erie, Pennsylvania for the 40 miles we were in Pennsylvania. Kind of just took it easy, burned up the roads, got to see upstate New York, and I think the Adirondack Mountains. I could be wrong. We are now about 4-ish hours away from our destination tomorrow. I'll get to pick up the keys to the new place from the listing agent. Really look forward to getting on the ground and doing some work. And yeah, so it's just a really fun day. We listened to old 80s country music and some folk songs and the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. Just had a real laid back day in the car. Saw a truck drive off the road. It was a crazy long day. But we're here, in the home stretch as it were. So thanks for coming with us and sticking around this long, and we look forward to taking you home tomorrow. Good night. That's crooked. Oh, good morning, YouTubers. It's 8:01 in the morning. We slept in. We've got 4 hours to go today. 4 hours and 4 minutes till we get to down east Maine. So we're gonna go get breakfast at a local diner here in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And then, oh my gosh, by relative to the last 4 days, today is 4 hours. So let's do it to it. We're 3,450 miles in, 27 degrees. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're crossing over some bridge, I think, from New Hampshire to Maine. Oh, look at that. It's the Piscataqua River Bridge. Yeah, I didn't say that right, did I, huh? State line for Maine. Ooh, look at that. Oh, we're home. Oh, look at that, Maine. Welcome home. The way life should be. I tell you, that's the face that drove across the United States in 4 days, I tell you what. So we've been in Maine for 44 miles, and it's funny. My dad's first comment was, "It looks like Humboldt County with smaller trees," and that was kind of our assertion, the assertion of Katie and I, when we first visited here. Like, in a weird way, it felt very much like a different version of where we're from, and maybe that's why we felt so certain in our seemingly foolish decision to buy a house here and just kind of move without only ever having been here after we bought the house. But anyways, all of that to say is, so we've been driving for 4 days. This is the it's the fifth day, really, because we had like 2 half days on either end. We hit Maine, and all of a sudden, it's like we're not traveling across the United States anymore. It's not one of those things where, like, wrong window there, pilot. It's one of those things where it's like, this is a new reality. It's like, we're not here to visit. This is the new place we're moving to. It's the new reality. Like, this is going to be home. So it's not like, oh, this is neat. I've never been to New York. I'm driving through New York. Or, oh, Toledo, Ohio. This is where every Jeep I've ever owned's been made. I want to go visit the factory because I'll probably never be here again. But no, it's like, oh, we're in Maine. So we get to, like, view everything as like, this is where we're going to live now. And this is home. So, like, the last day of the trip, the whole context of taking everything in is completely changed, which is really neat. And it's the bleak midwinter. It's January something 10th, and thank you. I thought it was the 19th. I think it's the 19th. Anyways, it's middle of January, and it's still a beautiful place, even though none of the trees have leaves. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like in the spring, summer, and then the fall. Of course, everyone knows the fall. But yeah, so it's Maine. So this is Carl of Sargent Real Estate. He was the listing agent for our house. We're picking up our keys today. We're so excited. Woohoo! Oh, look at that. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I would shake your hand, but COVID. Oh, yes. Let's bump elbows that we sneeze into. Thank you, Carl. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate everything, Carl. Thank you. Thanks. Got the keys to the house. we're gonna go to Home Depot, and then we're gonna go to Home Depot and get some stuff to build a fire, because that's the primary source of heat in the house. And then the old caretaker, Tim, the people that the former owners paid to look after the house, they're gonna meet us there. And, or he's gonna meet us there, not the former owners, did that already. Tim's gonna meet us there, go over some stuff and give us a rundown on the property, because he knows it probably better than the people that owned it. Right. And so, yeah. Next stop, Home Depot. We'll get one of these jobbies. Hopefully it lasts longer than their power tools. What do you think? Should probably go for 2X, because we're putting it on over stuff. Those are babies. What do you think? Probably 2X? So I can wear it, yeah. So we'll get one of these for starting fires in the wood stove. Woohoo! So we have just enough room in the back of the kraut wagon for our bundle of kindling. Probably a good thing we didn't buy the box of Duralogs that I had my eye on. Delightful little experience at the Home Depot. So all in all, it was a fun little quick step into, oh hey, look at that, Maine. It was a quick little venture into Home Depot. And one of the things that struck me, they had like DIY boat dock setups, which was really kind of cool and also potentially useful for us, because we have a little boat dock that's in the mud and in the bay and stuff, but it's it looks like it could use some updating, which is great because it's something to build. So they have DIY boat docks, which is really cool, because it'll be just one more project. Add it to the honey-do. So honey, do put in a dock for me. Ooh, husband of mine, put in a dock on the bay. Yes, dear, I will. Yeah, so this is the first time we will have gone into the home as the homeowner. Sticky threshold. Oh, wow. Oh. Oh, good. They took some of the bedroom furniture.
They left one bed.
What's that? They probably have a breaker on the main.
They left the beds.
Yeah, they took the couches. So this is a chest full of meat that we put 12 pounds of dry ice on the way out of Arcata, California. We're opening it for the first time 3,500 miles later.
Still solid as a rock.
Solid as a rock. So all of the dry ice melted. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's awesome. It's got to go one more night. We got to get the freezer. Let the freezer get chilled. That's amazing. Whew. It's actually much later than when we got here. We got to the house about 1 this afternoon, drove straight through with our little fun stop at Home Depot. And then we got so excited talking to the former caretaker of the place, Tim, that by the time we were done talking, it was dark. I was gonna film a great like YouTube montage, B-roll footage of us unloading the packed to the gills Volkswagen Jetta Sport Wagon. It didn't happen. It was dark. 3,700 miles. Yeah, it's a long way to go in 4.5 days. So there we go. We made it. Yeah, it was an adventure. Oh, and we went to Helen's in Ellsworth, Maine, and it was really good. We have a slice of blueberry pie for the hotel.